Okay, let's quickly discuss some of the announcements thus far as to Trump's cabinet because, oh my God, it quite literally might be the worst and most unqualified slate of candidates we've ever had for a presidential cabinet, full of war hawks and hardliners, making the possibility of World War III seem like more of a probability than anything else. It's also hilarious because his base likes to pretend that he's gonna drain the swamp and he's anti-establishment and anti-war, and then he comes around and within 3 days proves all of them wrong by picking a cabinet full of neocons. For instance, like Marco Rubio for Secretary of Defense, Mike Huckabee as ambassador to Israel, Elise Stefanik as the UN ambassador, Mike Waltz as the national security advisor. These are people who wanted to put American troops on the ground in Ukraine, have called for a reinvasion of Afghanistan. Yes, again, sending American troops back into Afghanistan. They want war with China, going as far to, yes, wanting to put boots on the ground against China, have supported invasions of Iran, bombing Iran, escalating conflicts in the Middle East. I mean, these are literal career warmongering politicians. So I think it's funny how often throughout the campaign, MAGA tried to tell me Trump is anti-establishment and anti-war, and he's going to get in there and drain the swamp, and he's going to get rid of the establishment, just for him to turn around within 3 days and show that all of that is a load of bullshit as he builds a very clearly pro-establishment candidate. There's also reporting, if we're going aside from foreign things, right? There's reporting that his FTC plans is to okay all mergers, okay all big company acquisitions, which doesn't sound very anti-establishment to me. That's literally the economic establishment. It's also like, it's almost like it was all pretend, right? Like I was right the entire time I was trying to say that. It's hilarious. And it's something else that's not being talked about enough. He's appointed Thomas Homan and Stephen Miller for Borders Law stuff, right? Both of them were authors in Project 2025. So we're supposed to believe he's not doing Project 2025. He has no idea what Project 2025 is. And then 2 of his first appointments are authors from Project 2025. So thus far, in review, his cabinet picks are career politicians who love and push for war, like Marco Rubio or Mike Waltz, those who want unrestricted aid to Israel, are willing to put American boots on the ground in the Middle East, and want America to help escalate the conflicts to where Israel could annex all of the West Bank, like Elise Stefanik and Mike Huckabee. You have Project 2025 authors like Tom Homan and Stephen Miller. And then, to go with that, you can season in puppy murderer Kristi Noem as your Homeland Security Secretary. This is someone who is banned from Native Indian land because of racist actions she's taken against them. But, let's put her in a job directly dealing with brown people because why not? It's America. And if that's not good enough for you, then he went on to select Fox News host, yes, you heard me right, a Fox News host, Pete Hegseth, as Secretary of Defense. So the person overseeing our Defense Department and advising our defense advising as a policymaker or a policy advisor is someone who's not only just a news commentator, but a news commentator for Fox, a propaganda network that's been sued for spreading lies, someone who supports the industrial military complex and only wants to expand that, which is again part of the establishment, guys. But remember, anti-establishment candidate here. And then, of course, there's Elon and Vivek working in government efficiency to cut regulations and such, because having 2 wealthy rich guys with a history of complaints against them from employers for breaking regulations and standards, right? Quality of standards for work environments. They should definitely be in charge of cutting regulations like the ones that protect workers from their bosses. This won't backfire at all. It's kind of funny, though, because this is a position that's meant to sunset in 2026, so they'll be out of a job after that. And it seemed that Trump, told them that he'd line them up for very lucrative positions in his cabinet, and instead he gave them temporary, for show positions rather than an actual job. We're still waiting to hear back on what RFK Jr. is going to do, but even MAGA, at least the ones who can admit it, can step out of line to admit it, are pretty angry as Trump has gone full swamp. This is the swamp. All of these candidates represent the establishment. And he's picked some of the most establishment candidates he could. Not just establishment candidates, but super establishment, right? Filling his cabinet with these kind of war-hungry career politicians. So I just want to get on here and talk about that for a little bit, because it's funny that the entire campaign we heard that the Democrats are the establishment. Trump is anti-establishment, anti-war. He's going to drain the swamp. And then he comes in and he does establishment things for the entirety of his first couple days.